You can trouble us more. As Oriana Masaile. We were trained in the wilderness. We were not trained with keyboard and drum. We were trained with dryness. How to be powerful even without sound. Oh my God. And I hope that training is entering into you, because where you are going to, you will face demons. Now that thing will save you. Now that thing will save you. Now that thing will save you. Melody go barare. In Jesus. If you came with the writing materials, I said Luke chapter 7. Sunday, I see you very busy, and I'm not seeing a lot of results from it. I would prefer you for you that you see that in case we can't get what we want, because you've been busy from morning. This is the time to get your notes and be seated, and let's just get this thing done. Being busy now is a sign that we are not in order. Luke chapter 7, short message, and we are out of here. I told you the reason I kept quiet when a lot of is when you've not walked with God, that you will think that the is rose, everything is a bed of rose. You know, when people take my name to the city and say nonsense about me, it's an honorable thing. They know they fight everybody. Not everybody can last the fight. No, not everybody. Not everybody can survive it. But the reason I kept quiet is not because there are no many different ways to respond. But the best response is that I looked at the people with me and said, you see, these people, they need to be thick. Let's go back to leadership. Let's teach the basic, the core, the very core of leadership. Because when you start to hear things like my job, then you have a problem. When you have a leader who is obstructed by a job, then you have a problem. It's the truth. Because where you are going to is far. I imagine if Dangote is not a Muslim and he's a Muslim, being a Muslim has not stopped him from being a businessman, and being a businessman has not stopped him from being a Muslim, and committedly so. Christians don't even see breakthrough, just small. They become cold. And where you are going to is far. If a job can quench your fire, because a job, you are working for somebody. If they give you a business that you are growing by yourself, do you understand? A business that is dependent on your 100%, 24 hours of the day you are working. What will then happen to your fire? You cannot be trusted. Do you know why it looks like Christians are not the richest people in Nigeria? Do you know why it looks like Christians are not the biggest people? The simple reason is because when you test them with small, which pastor was saying that he was saying, he said that he cannot, many of his friends, they began this journey together. They will be praying and all of them are shouting they will take the city. That almost all of them have left Jesus. Why? They got money. Highest, he just sold one house, made a profit of 50 million. Psh, you can't see him again. That calling that he's killing himself for. And this is somebody that God intends to empower and give billions. If they give him billions, they won't see him again. Every time my finances increase, I increase my giving personally. It's just to stabilize me. It's just to keep it at the back of my mind that I wasn't blessed to. This is not the end. This is but a means to an end. It means God has trusted me more. I don't know if you understand me. It means he has trusted me more. He has opened a door that formerly was not opened. He trusts me now. And that trust is a proof that I'm maturing. Every time trouble hits me, is that he trusts me that I can handle it. It's not ready to come and say, hey, see what has happened to me. Why me? Why not you? Just like Job is crying and say, why did he enter into trouble? He entered into trouble because God trusted him. It is the trust that brings about responsibilities. Listen, I can't tell you how many Christians can't go beyond a certain limit. They can't. They can't. I say they can't. The reason is because the little that have been given to them has revealed that they cannot handle much. Do you know how many I've told you people here, how many young people, females especially, were on fire for God in campus? Let them get married. Boom! That's the end. When they kill you, you say, in a marriage, I have a child. Wait, they want to trust you with a business, trust you with a family, trust you with jobs, still trust you with orphanage homes. All of them, God trusts you that if this is part of your destiny, and they just gave you half over 100, and it has killed you already. Say, leave him where it is. Never. This one can't carry much. You can't carry much. Do you think Jesus was joking when he said that the gates of hell shall not prevail? No, really, do you think he was joking? That he will build a church that the devil will come against? Do you think church is membership? I think that's one of the things I've been fighting to divorce your mind from. Because if all we are raising are people to sit on the chair, then we are not raising anybody. They might as well go home. Because Jesus will not reward us for how many people gathered. Jesus will reward us for how many people he can use. I will say it again. Jesus will not reward us for how many people gathered. Jesus will reward us based on how many people he can use in your congregation. If today he wants to use somebody, can he come to your church and use a person from your church? John the Baptist put it well, that he may increase and I will decrease. My church membership will decrease. I lost my members to Jesus. People are coming and say, hey, are you not seeing that people are now following Jesus? They've left you. He said, what's the essence of my ministry? Is it not to get Jesus people he can use? If he comes and he begins to make demand on using them, my greatest joy is that I prepared them. Now he can. Now the problem is, how many people amongst us can Jesus use? Let's end, because Christians can't even talk money. Because when you reach that world, you have already killed half of the Christians. Did I say half? 90% of Christians. Once you just empower Christians financially, just know that their prayer life has suffered it. Fasting, don't die. Giving. It's easier to give when you don't have much. Do you know? Do you know it's easier to give if you don't have much? What's the tithe of 10,000? It's 1,000. What's the tithe of 10 million? It's 1 million. You see, now it's difficult when we get to that level. Then what's the tithe of 100 million? 10 million. It's hard. It's hard. When I started giving 20% personally, the Lord showed me faithfulness. Because if you are giving, he is faithful. And then he opened some doors. And some money entered into my hand that was sizable. Give the 20%. It's not even a thought. I don't think it. That's the first thing that happens once money enters. The first thing, if the money is mine, is it don't go. I don't care the thing you say I want to do. It's not my own. Just empower Christians small. Small. Their childishness will make them think they have arrived. They will even use the thing that they have against God. How will your excuse be that it is what God gave you that made you leave him? My brother, why are you not fasting again? It's because there's enough food in the pot. Do you know some of you have been with me for years, you know that it has been a tradition for ages. I don't eat in the morning. It's something I don't eat scarce. Maybe something happened to me. I don't eat in the morning, I fast in the morning. It's something I do every day. I don't. This is me. And I did it when I had nothing, did it till I started having things. You see, it's a lifestyle. If I'm down, I fast. If I'm up, I fast. If I fall, I fast. If I stand, I fast. It's a lifestyle that cultivated so that it's a habit. I don't know if you get my point. If you like take me anywhere, my spiritual life will survive because I have trained it from actions into habits. It's not dependent on any other person. And that fast, as I fast, that's why they pray the 6 hours. Throughout that morning, if you see me anywhere, my mouth is moving. My neighbor is here. I will greet you normal, but my mouth is going. If I'm at work, I'm blasting. If I'm in anywhere, if I'm in the camp, I'm praying. Wherever I find myself, I'm praying. If I'm working, I'm praying. If I'm singing, I'm praying. If I'm taking my bath, if I'm in my kitchen, because I am not dependent on you. I have not come this far because you supported me. Where I've come because I pray. I've put my hands on a plow and I'm not looking back. Are you understanding what I'm saying? The problem is, how many Christians can God trust? You know, when I talk of trust, we have eradicated the entire set of people from secondary school below. Because we've not trained them anything. God can't use anybody. You see, all our secondary school students, God can't use any of them. When I say any, I mean it. The best we do when we bring them to church is just to keep them at the back. Let them be doing choreography. Because when you want to bring matters of, can God use in your school? Yeah, I mean, be pastor. Who is talking pastor? Do you know there are people who will die, they won't finish secondary school? Do you know that you are the only person who can talk to them? The place we can even attempt to start from is from high institution upward. Attempt to. And all the brothers there, they are all waiting to go and blow. Do you understand? They want to become, all of them are put apostles to their name. All of them. That's all they are thinking about. Themselves, 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 themselves. I'm saying if God wants to use and then he comes, have you managed stability? That the thing God begins to use you with, when he begins to attract demons, which it will. Do you get my English? If what you are doing doesn't attract demons, then you are not doing anything. No, it will. And how you will even know you are accurate is how many battles you are fighting. It's not how much you are not fighting. When you look like everything is smooth, it doesn't mean that it's smooth. In the spirit, you are judged by how strong you are. He said, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Take on the whole armor, that you can stand in the evil days. And having done all to stand, stand therefore. Because your adversary is like a roaring lion looking for who he will devour. And why is it that he roared and roared into the church and devoured a Christian in church? And now the person has reduced himself to nominal Christianity. When last did you catch somebody and set the person on fire? Tell me, when last? When last did somebody hear you and then it tore his heart? Are you satisfied living just normal? I'm not. And I've been like this for years. I've seen good and ugly days. I've seen days no food to eat. I've seen days plenty food to eat. One thing that has not changed is me. I haven't changed. If the situations change, it's you I'm talking about. Is it? Do you know when a child is transiting and becoming mature, one of the signs you know is that the teeth begins to fall off. Is that true? New teeth come out. The old one fall off. So a new one grow. When the girl begins to transit from a child into a teenager, she starts becoming more ashamed. She just wants to bath outside, start covering her body, start doing many things. Start wearing certain clothes, her uniform, she start lifting it up to be above her knee. You want to show his skin and all of that. All of that are signs that she's growing up. Do you know how many Christians, when they were children in the faith, they were more disciplined under God? As he begins, God starts to show small faithfulness, starts to open doors. This person who is just a normal person begins to meet, wealthy people. Do you get my point? Begins to go out, begins to make money, begins to see the world. They grow small. Do you know the first thing that comes to his mind? The first person he's coming against is the very God that opened his doors. I'm talking to you. If your heart doesn't burn for impact, and that's by the Spirit, you are not the person I came to talk to. Because church, I told you, is only useful to ministers in training. Is the truth in the Bible that The church was put on ground to prepare saints for the work of the ministry. I said the church is only useful to ministers. You must be in training. Did you hear what I said? If after what I finish preaching now, you go home, you don't use it, it's useless. If all that my brother does on the keyboard, he's just thinking every Sunday when he does like this, he's serving God. And then, you now ask him, say, all me and they look for that money. Then he has lost his way. Because this is not a sign that you're serving God. This is not a sign that God depends on you. This might be a sign that we depend on you, but it doesn't mean God. Because God is not a keyboard. He's just, am I talking to you? We can run this thing without keyboard. Ultimately, the pastor must tell you that you have a destiny in God. And it's not going to happen one day. Where you are, he that is faithful with little is faithful with much. You are in secondary school, be faithful there. I didn't say join the FCS. If you need to, go ahead and join it. I remember how many years ago, when I went to my sister's house, she had just gotten married. And then she told me, every time they come to her church to preach, that they will come and tell her that she has this call of God on her life. As she was talking, I was looking at her near the dining area. I just told her, you see that thing? You will fulfill it. If I'm the one person, you will fulfill it. He said, she doesn't know what to do. I said, I know what to do. She said, what will I do? I said, I'll tell you what to do. I know you don't have utterance, so I will come. You start it. I know you're in choir in your church, but that's not why you were born. It took us weeks, if not months, for her to agree that choir is not a calling. I had to finish. I said, the choir is not a calling. Usher is not a calling. Drummer, maybe calling. God doesn't used to specially call people to drum. You might be in a church and serve in that capacity, but that's not your call. That thing that prophets are beginning to identify, that thing that is witnessing inside of, that's your calling. And if you feel that you are called to teach, to preach the gospel, then my duty is to prepare you to do that. So I will start. And since me and you are not in the same location, what you are going to do is that you are going to begin a meeting. Hey, how will I start? I said, I don't have an answer for that. Is your calling that has an answer for that? Did God call you or not? She said she believes that. I said, good. You don't know how to do anything. Say yes. I said, no problem. I know what to do. So what I'm going to do for you is that you will start a meeting. I will be coming every month. Every month I will bring my dimension. We will grow it. Deal? She said, I said, see, it's an instruction. You will start it. That thing that she started in her parlor, using her money to buy chops for a few people that come. We labored there, got all the people. Watch, and I told her, I said, no, I've discerned that you are not a minister in the church. You will sing and do whatever in church, but your major ministry is in the marketplace. She said, I believe what you said, I believe it. I said, good. So what you are going to do is that keep your job. God will use that job to become an anchor for many of his people. She said, yes. I have watched every place she goes to work. She doesn't only get Christians in, she makes Christians out of them. I'm saying you, that place you are working, what do you do there? Other than speak and talk nonsense. That place that you are schooling, tell me 3 people who see a light through you and come through you and say, and then you tell them, I'm not a pulpit person, but I'm in the marketplace. All the same, we have the same training. I can minister to you. A point will come and I know you need higher help. I will transfer you. But everybody should be able to minister first aid. Is that not true? If you meet a sick person, do you need it to be a doctor to help him? Everybody must be able